About Library, and I'm here today to talk about my current reads. I didn't do a TBR video in the month of February because frankly I wasn't sure what I was going to be reading, but now I am. I'm sure now. We're at the middle of the month. It's past the middle of the month actually, because it's like February is a short month. So I've finished some reads, I'm in the middle of another, and like got more coming, so let's get into it. My current read that I am like so close, I'm almost done, and it's been really good, has been Moxie by Jennifer Mathau. So shiny. Some books, like I feel like more than others, just really catch the light. This is a book that has gotten a lot of hype on BookTube, and you know, I get sucked into it sometimes, guys. I try to rise above it, but I get sucked in. And every now and then it's worth it, and it kind of makes it worth it. Like, what? What I mean to say is, even if I read a couple of books that are hyped up that I don't enjoy, which I have read quite a few, every now and then a book does live up to the hype, and I feel like for me, Moxie is one of those books. I only have about 10 pages left in this book, so I'm like pretty much done with it. And it has been so good. It's definitely a YA book. I mean, it doesn't address the issues the way an adult fiction book would. But for a YA fiction book about what this book is about, I think it did a really good job. If you're not familiar with Moxie, it is about a girl named Vivian who goes to a high school in South Texas. I think it's called like East Rockport High School. I don't know if that's a real place or not. Her high school definitely has some issues, some like relatable issues if you've gone to high school in America. I did read some reviews on Goodreads from people who went to high school in other countries that said that they couldn't really relate to the book because their high school experience nothing like this, which props to them. But as someone who did go to high school in America, not in Texas though, I can relate to a lot of the stuff that is discussed in this book. There's uniform checks, there's crude things that are being said, there's just a general attitude of boys get away with all kinds of things girls can't get away with. Not that we would want to, these guys are pretty gross. Anyway, Viv gets fed up. She decides that she is going to create a zine to inspire other girls. She calls it Moxie, and she's inspired by her mom, who was a riot girl back in the 1990s. One thing leads to another, and her creating this zine kind of starts this little mini revolution at her school. And it's just really cool to see. I think this book does so many things well, I don't even know where to start. But one of my favorite things to see is, I think everyone can see themselves in this book. No matter what you were like in high school, this book represents such a broad span of what it is to be a girl in high school. And I really liked that. You know, Viv isn't an outsider, she isn't a jock, she isn't, you know, like able to be fit into one specific group. She's just a girl who goes to a small town high school. And I really have been enjoying this, and I wasn't sure that I was going to, because like I said, YA hyped books, it's a mixed bag. But this has been really good. And if you're interested in getting a YA take on feminism, I think this is a good one to pick up. Next up is my buddy read for the month. I am buddy reading Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier with Kristen's Library. It's my very first buddy read. Very excited. This book has been really interesting so far. I've heard so many good things. If Moxie is hyped on BookTube as like a great YA book, I feel like Rebecca is hyped on BookTube as like a really good classic. And going from Moxie into this was kind of a tough transition for me. Moxie is very easily accessible, the writing style, you know, YA. But Rebecca, it's a classic. And so it took me a little bit to adjust to the writing style, but now that I'm in it, and I am 78 out of 400 pages in it, I'm really enjoying it. I'm starting to get a peek at why this is such a popular book. Rebecca is about a woman who meets a man named Mr. De Winter. He is recently widowed. His wife died. She drowned in the ocean. It's a mystery. There's a lot of mystery involved. The details are fuzzy. One thing's for sure, I'm not going to be spoiling this for anybody because I don't know the ending yet. But I still don't want to say too much. It's about a woman who marries a man named Mr. De Winter. She goes to Manderley, which is like his fancy house, it's a castle? It's a mansion. So she goes to this mansion, and as far as I am into this book, again, because I'm only like 78 pages into it, she's starting to interact with the people who worked at the mansion when the previous wife was living at the mansion. And it is awkward. It's so awkward. They definitely have some biases against the new wife, and they're not warm and fuzzy, that's for sure. I don't think anything about this book is going to be warm and fuzzy. I just finished doing the cozy book tag, and this is not cozy. It's also pretty creepy. Like, it just has this vibe throughout it that gives me the willies a little bit. It's just, I'm not a huge fan of Mr. De Winter himself. He's not my fave, but I do really like the voice of the narrator, who we only know, I think, as Mrs. De Winter. And so I'm excited to keep reading this. It's been fun reading it with Kristen, and yeah. After that, I have a book club read. I joined a book club, an online book club. Don't get excited, I'm not going outside. And this month we are reading Impossible Saints by Clarissa Harwood. But yeah, I'm excited to check this out. I am only on page 20 of this, and I have mixed feelings about it so far. I honestly don't have any idea what this is about, really. I think it's gonna end up being a love story, but I'm like only 50% sure of that, just based on reading the flap. But that's one of the cool things about being in a book club anyway, is that you read books that you've never heard of or might not have picked up otherwise. So excited to check this one out. At 20 pages in, yeah, I'm okay about it. The writing isn't my favorite. The conversations are like really stilted and kind of awkward to me so far, but we're only 20 pages. We got lots of pages left, plenty of time for the book to improve. So here's hoping it does. I am also listening to a book right now. I'm listening to an audiobook for the book Dumplin'. This is a YA book I had heard about previously, but the author is going to be at an event that I'm hoping to attend. And I always think those things are more fun if you are familiar with the book and with the authors who are going to be there. Dumplin' is about a girl in high school, also in Texas. Her mom is in charge of this big beauty pageant in town, and Dumplin', that's not actually her name. I just can't remember her name, so that's how I will refer to her. She decides that she is going to participate in the pageant. There's also like a love triangle situation going on, and there's a lot. I don't think it's a book that I would have picked up to read, but it's been really fun to listen to. It's hard for me to put a finger exactly on why I enjoy listening to this book more than I think I would reading it, but I've already read a YA book this month, and I don't read YA very often. Like, it's maybe a 10th of the books that I read. I guess it just kind of feels like, you know, I guess it kind of reminds me of like flipping on the TV and watching like Riverdale or something. Like, I don't think I would read the Riverdale books. Like, no, I would not. Is that a thing? I would not read the Riverdale books. But the narrator for Dumplin' is really good. The story of it is really good, and so it kind of feels like that. Not something I would read, but something that's super fun to listen to. And then I have 2 books out still from the library that, if I can get to them, I would love to read this month. Both of these are books that I hauled from the library in my last library haul, which I will link above and below. They're both books that I'm super excited about and really want to read. I have a really good track record with reading the books that I get in my library book hauls. I would guess I'm probably at like 80–85%. But yeah, I'm pretty good about reading them, and I want to keep that up. So if I don't get to these by the end of February, then definitely March. These are happening, but they are My Name is Lucy Barton by Elizabeth Strout and The Sinner by Petra Hamasfar. Both of these sound awesome, and so hopefully I can fly through Rebecca and Impossible Saints so that I can get to these before the month ends, definitely before they're due back to the library. So those are my current reads, my TBR, my plans for reading in February. Please comment down below, let me know what you are currently reading. Have you read any of my current reads? Are any of them on your TBR? Let's chat. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.